times are changing in the rap world. And I'm not talking about, the sound of songs or, the production of beats, but rather, rapper names. Stage names are becoming more like screen names. If you're old enough, you remember AIM, the chat system back in the day, early 2000s, where people logged in and communicated. It was basically like text messages online. Think before Snapchat, before Instagram direct messages. You had AIM, and everyone had their own unique screen name, whether it be their nickname with some numbers at the end, or just their own personalized username. I suppose nowadays, PSN IDs would be a better parallel. PlayStation Network. The gamer tags which people appear as online. Those type of names are starting to appear more and more frequently in hip-hop. Let me give you some examples of names I've come across in just the past month. We got GS3 Draco and Big Greedy 2Time. Notice these names have no space in between the words, and there's also some numbers involved. Another good one is Parlay Looney and ATM Rich Baby. Notice Looney is spelled with zeros rather than actual O's. And I think these names just seem a bit too internet manufactured, for lack of a better term. They seem a bit cheap. They're nothing like King Von or Lil Durk or Big Sean. Things you know exactly what to search. But these names, they're a bit too complicated. They're a bit too digital for me. Now, I mentioned, they're a bit harder to search. Just imagine, somebody on the street goes, hey, you hear the new Parlay Looney track. People may not know where to find it if they're entering in Looney, spelled like Looney Tunes, with O's in there, not zeros. And, same with Big Greedy 2Time. A lot of times people aren't really going to know what to search if you just mention it, by word of mouth. It just seems a bit more complicated and tricky that way, and it puts artists at a disadvantage. If fans are trying to get their music, they just don't know what to enter in. But, I suppose on the bright side, it is an advantage to them. Let's say if their TikTok username, Twitter username, and Twitter profile all match. They're all the same exact username along with their, artist page on Spotify. Then it becomes, a bit, I could see why artists would do that. It's easy for fans to keep up with them. Then they know exactly what to enter in rather than, let's say their Instagram handle is different than their Twitter handle. Then it becomes a bit messy. But if everything's consistent, okay, then I can see why these artists' stage names are getting a bit more complicated with these, jumbled letters and numbers. But I want to get your thoughts on this. Where do you think rapper names are headed? Are we going to see more names like this in the future? Or is this just a fad, in the digital age? Let me know your thoughts.